I'm the national lead for road safety on behalf of all of police and crime commissioners, and I'm going to tell you just a little bit about what I'm doing in that role.
So just my credentials, obviously police officer for about 25 years, got the road policing, road safety bug about 12 years ago as a superintendent, took over road policing in Sussex, did some national work. Haven't really lost that bug. I don't think you ever do, once you've seen the good that can be done through casualty reduction. So now I sit on the National Road Policing Strategic Group.
We've got a national action plan, and there's about 40% of police and crime commissioners have road safety explicitly in their police and crime plans. And there's probably more because not every single one replied to the survey, but that's good to know that we know it's on their agenda. And we've got a national action plan that we've set up, again, that can be influenced. I'm sure I'm going to get influenced about Community Speedwatch online as a way of how can we help that come about.
I mean, I think historically, Community Speedwatch was seen as a tactic for community cohesion. It was about taking that energy and that willingness from communities and channeling it into some activity. But actually, what I found is it can have some really, really good results from an education and an enforcement there. But I just wanted to big up at this opportunity a guy called Jan Young, who lives locally here in Sussex and speaks a lot about Community Speedwatch. Community Speedwatch online in particular, he's in the pack. Do seek him out. He has been for a number of years now a real advocate of that spectrum of education to enforcement.
Thank you. Before I start speaking to you, I would like you to watch something here on this screen, which is an extract from a ITV Tonight program recently.
And that's not the only way the public can help save lives. Some believe that fining drivers doesn't always make the roads safer. That instead of the big stick, a softly approach might work better.
Peugeot Green.
44.
44? Oh dear.
The road death rate in Britain has plateaued over the last few years, sticking doggedly at just below 2,000 deaths a year. So in the face of dwindling numbers of traffic cops, is this Community Speedwatch schemes a model for the future?
The Mercedes 43.
John, Trevor, Bob and Martin are out in all weathers, armed with a radar gun borrowed from the police.
We're here to try and get the traffic to slow down to give the children a safer walk to school. If we weren't here, anywhere above 40, it would be quite common. We've had a 71 on this road in a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. That looks quick.
For Bob, family tragedy is at the heart of his involvement.
I had two nephews, one killed by a speeding motorist and one seriously injured by a speeding motorist, so I do have a vested interest.
Community Speedwatch is active in South East England, but it hopes to realise plans to become a nationwide initiative.
Morning, guys.
Jan Young leads the group.
In an ideal world, it might be a bigger deterrent to see a police officer on every street corner. But we have to be realistic. You cannot deal with speeding as a police force alone.
This scheme is different. Speeding drivers are never fined. Instead, they're sent a warning letter from the police. Only if they're caught more than 3 times will they get a police officer knocking on their door.
I think most people, when they receive a letter through the door with a fine after having been caught, most probably on a way of speeding. They think it's unfair, and I can understand that. I think educating people about effects of speeding is far more effective.
Organisers reckon that for £2 million a year, 75,000 volunteers could be enlisted for a truly nationwide scheme.
Nationwide, with the maximum numbers of volunteers, we probably could save up to 80 lives a year. So the question is, why would we like to organize Speedwatch nationwide? And to answer that question, we first need to look at what we know about Speedwatch. There is this popular perception about the volunteers and their motives that they're just a bunch of old farts with nothing better to do than standing at the roadside and poking their noses into busy neighbors' affairs. That these idling people, they should get a life. That they're vigilantes, wannabe police officers, or police little helpers that are waging war on motorists, or they are policing on the cheap. Some people also think that Speedwatch is just a scheme to appease those aggressive and very vocal minorities that go on and on and on about speeding. And at best, that Speedwatch is a waste of time, and it makes no difference. You know, and I know, why people think that. We know it's mostly rumors, that is half truth. But when we look closer at the facts, we actually see that the demographics are skewed towards white, retired male, and occasionally females. The schemes generally are inconsistently interpreted and managed by police forces. So therefore, technically, it is impossible to guarantee that there aren't people involved that do it for the wrong reasons. We also know Speedwatch is completely disjoint across the UK, that the data they generate, they're underutilized, and therefore the importance of those reports and their data, that intelligence, is undervalued. Unfortunately, we also know that there are PCCs out there that think that Speedwatch is a vote loser and not a vote winner. So with a national organization, a nationwide organization, we aim to implement mechanisms that guarantee that Speedwatch schemes everywhere across the UK can work to the same standards, rules, methodologies, and outcomes. They're consistently supervised and supported. They represent a friendly community that has the same approach to all road user safety. That we separate the proactive involvement in educating speeding drivers from that of police enforcement of traffic offences. That we share data collected or collated from all the groups with all the participating police forces. That the education letters that are issued are done so promptly, consistently, and that the content of those letters are adapted uniformly to suit the offence and to the assumed driver profile. When we do all that, and we organize the whole country, then we think we can actually make a difference and we can save many more lives. Thank you.
Well done.